Nice to see you, both senators. Not as much Senator LeBlanc. Senator LeBlanc, I just can't get over how much you enjoy coming to this chamber. Minister, the one thing about mobility, and coming off my colleagues' questions about credentialing and the recognition of interprovincial credentials, the big challenge is going to be in mobility. I think one of the challenges is going to be the cost. We know that with the drop in the price of oil, that many of the companies in the West, who for a long time relied on Atlantic Canadian labor and Central Canadian labor, those opportunities have sort of ceased. Your government, your past government, did recognize this and put in some provisions for tax incentives for mobility. Do you see continuing on in that line? Because we want to match job opportunities with people that have those skills. So do you see this being expanded on in light of this challenge you have?
Senator, your question is bang on, and the part of the country you represent, like mine, we see at the airports, if it's Halifax or Moncton, we see many hardworking women and men going to other parts of the country to earn good wages in sectors of the economy that then end up driving the regional economies in our part of the country. So I've said before, every Canadian should be interested in the success. I said this to Premier Smith last night. The resource economies of the country create employment in every part of the country and add economic value. But you're right, for a bunch of reasons, global markets, other factors, there are some challenges. So one of the things, a tax credit to incentivize that labor mobility, I think it was an idea that started our Conservative colleagues in the other place, had been proposing a series of measures around tools for tradespeople, labor mobility. I think there's a lot of merit, in my own view, in those ideas. I know the Minister of Finance is looking at ways to help, working with unions and representatives of many of these workers. How can we have fiscal instruments that would encourage and support that mobility? And to your colleague's question, Senator, earlier, also incentivize some of the training opportunities that would exist. And the provinces have obviously a critical role to play on the training side, but we want to be a partner for them as well.
Thank you very much. Canada, we've seen in this country sporadic attempts at breaking down interprovincial barriers in the past. The actions by the current president have really galvanized Canadians, and there seems to be everybody sees that it's imperative now. You've been up close and personal with you understand the spontaneity of this current president. Should we land a deal? Should we get a trade deal with them? Do you think that you take the foot off the gas pedal? Do you think that is that degree of urgency that the government has right now, will that continue even if we do land a trade deal with the U.S.?
So, Mr. Chair, through you, Senator, thank you for the question. The short answer is no. The importance of giving ourselves the ability to properly but expeditiously work with partners to approve projects in the national interest, I think will exist whether or not we're successful in getting a trade deal with the United States. You saw yesterday, and I was in that meeting yesterday morning in Kananaskis with the Prime Minister and the President. They have given us, again, a mandate with a shortened up to, hopefully less than 30 days, to see if we can hammer out the remaining elements of that deal. But the economic uncertainty won't be lifted if we're successful. And if we're not successful, then we really have to double down on ways to support workers and businesses and sectors in our economy. Imagine for steel producers, if we're building big national projects there's an opportunity therein immediately for some of the great workers and businesses that produce some of Canada's steel. So that's just one example amongst many. And the other thing, Senator Cuzner, which I think is instructive, is there is built into the CUSMA, Canada-United States-Mexico trade agreement, a review in 2026. To your point about the unpredictability of the American administration, President Trump will be the American president when that review comes up. I spoke to the Mexican economy minister yesterday about how we can work with our partners in Mexico when that review ultimately comes upon us. So that uncertainty sadly will not dissipate if we get, as we hope we can in the short term, a deal. There still is, I think, the urgency of giving ourselves the right instruments to build big nation building projects again.